Right, hello there. So, I'm Mark Griffiths, Neil Williams with me as well, and we are here to do the post-match stream. Still not massively satisfactory, but that's a clean sheet. We've stopped the rot, and I guess we've got to be happy with that at least, haven't we, Neil, I think?
We have, yeah. Would have been nice for a win, but as you say, we've kept a clean sheet, even after losing a couple of our defenders. So, which was hard for them new players to fit in defensive role. But yeah, we'd like to win, but a point's better than none. So roll on Saturday and see where we go on with Saturday.
Exactly. Lack of chance creation was the main issue, I think, wasn't it? In all honesty.
Yeah, we had a couple of chances which we didn't take, but that's been the last couple of home games has been the same issue. So, and again, at the end of Barnet had a couple of good chances as well, which Leighton made a couple of good saves. So, we played well in the first half. We played well in the spells in the second half as well.
Yeah, Kirky is saying that the problems with the coaching and management team. I mean, Elliot Durrell was commenting, on social media, saying that he didn't agree, that he felt it was the players are going out there, they should be better and are not putting the performance on. I'm inclined to see it that way, that you send the players on the pitch, they've got to then turn up, haven't they?
Yeah, you've got to turn up on the pitch. I mean, once you've gone out onto the pitch, it's down to the players how they perform. It's not on the manager or the coaching staff don't have any dictation on once they're on the pitch. It's the effort that the players do on the pitch, and that's what counts in a football game.
I mean, continuing that, Ewan Baker, should Keats be sacked? I would say no. I know a lot of people are shouting for it, but it's too early to panic over things now. We've gone into this game in 10th place anyway. It's early in the season. Those three results before today were horrible, and this is a disappointment. No, please don't think I'm not saying that, but this is a good squad that's been put together, and we need to have. We can't just jump into that sort of decision, I don't think, at all.
No, it's too early in the season, Maybe after 10 games and have a look at it again, but no, we've got to be consistent, and football turns on, from one match to the other. I mean, Saturday we might have a great performance, we don't know, football is like that, but definitely not, keep the management as they are at the moment and see how it goes.
Lee Fowler, I thought, was interesting in the leader. He was asked about it, and he said that people have to show a bit more patience in him. I'm inclined to agree. Although, I do accept that, the nature of our recent defeats were catastrophic. Things change, but at the moment, I would say, if you look at his record with the club, he's come in twice, and we're heading towards relegation. He's made sure that's not happened. The one time he got to build a team before now, we were fourth when he left, and looking good. And he's had a good summer in terms of recruitment, but it's the fact is that it's not gelling yet. But I think it's too soon to be then jump into that conclusion for my money.
And all the injuries don't help as well. He's got to change the team from one week to the next. So there's no consistency in the team. But again, it's not down to the manager. It's unfortunately down to players getting injured on the pitch. I mean, we saw the commitment in the first 20 minutes of the first half today. The commitment out there was 100%. Unfortunately, we didn't turn into goals, so we'll move on to the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at some of the other points here. Josh Hodgson, who played better, deserved to win. We started well. We were very positive in the early stages, and we're clearly looking to make up for what had happened, getting at them, and trying to shake them, and the fact that Barnet have had problems leading into this game anyway. But we didn't create enough chances. Somebody earlier on was saying we only had 6 shots on target. I didn't think it was that many, to be frank. We put them under pressure, didn't turn that into chances, and that then allowed them to grow into the game a bit more. And Lainton was probably slightly more busy than the Barnet keeper in the end.
In the latter part of the second half, yes, he was the more busy of the keepers, but their keeper made really good save from Jeffrey's curling shot from the edge of the box. It was a good game to watch. It wasn't dire. We were playing attacking football. I mean, that's why I see the difference this season is we are playing the attacking game rather than the defensive game. bear with us. We're all fans at the end of the day, and we all feel it when we're not winning, and but that's football.
Yeah. Where was it? There was a comment here I was wanting to pick up. Where was it? Dean Jones was interesting, I thought, what he said, and part of it hits the nail on the head. I'm going to disagree with your first point. Where is it? Where's it gone there? Is a lot of hoofball and crosses that either didn't beat the first man or went over everyone. I think hoofballs, I wouldn't agree with that. I think we used Thomas as a target man, which is a legitimate move. And he won a lot of headers. Your second point, 100%, yeah, crosses that either don't beat the first man or went over everyone. That's the thing. We had a lot of situations, but not enough chances, and that was a real disappointment for me. Jeffrey looked constantly threatening, but actually, to be fair, he got the pull back to Thomas. He did put some balls in. Durrell had the fullback isolated a lot, won a lot of corners, hitting it off him, but I think we need him to be shifting it and getting quality into the box in those situations.
Yeah, but as Dean said, we weren't hitting our players in the box, and that's. Is that through playing more games? Is that through training? But yeah, I mean, there were some good runs down the wing. Jeffries did quite a few good crosses in the box, but we weren't hitting our players.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee White saying, why let Bobby Grant and Joe Quigley, etc. leave? There's no goal scorers in the team. Now it's going to be a long season. I don't know if many people would be keen for Grant to be hanging around, if I'm honest. The issue with Quigley, at least in part, was that he was on loan from a Football League club who didn't want to sell him, as I understand it. And he had major problems with his hamstrings. And I think there was concern that, whether a permanent signing would be wise. And let's be honest, Quigley started superbly and then faded quite badly.
A lot after that.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, he's then done very well. So he's a good player. But... Yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I don't think when Quigley started like a house on fire, everybody was desperate to sign him permanently. I think by the time he went, I don't think many people were dissenting then. I don't think. Is that a fair comment, do you think? Or?
Yeah, I'd say it was a fair comment. He did start off very well, but he played a lot of games after that, which you hardly noticed him on the pitch. So very difficult decision to make. And if he had injuries, then do you keep players got injuries or renowned for injuries?
Yeah.
With regards to who was the other player we mentioned? Sorry.
Bobby Grant.
Bobby Grant.
Yeah.
Whether attitude is the problem with Bobby, I'm not too sure. He didn't score many goals with you at all at Wrexham, but yeah, he's a good player and he's scoring goals at Oldham where he is at the moment.
But he's I don't think many people would have argued to keep him. I wouldn't have thought, and his relationship with sections of the fans had gone quite toxic. And I think it was inevitable that he would go if it was possible.
Yeah.
I think, really, wasn't it? King of the... does that say? King of the North. Yeah. Keats' win rate, 38.4. He's been at the club a year and 20 days. He doesn't deserve to be sacked. I think the key thing for that as well, I agree, is that I've not got the stats to hand. I'll dig them out. With Hughes, under Hughes last season, and I'm not somebody who wants to jump on Hughes's back, to be honest. I feel sympathy for him, but he had a bad transfer window last summer. Under Hughes, when he left, we were averaging 1 point per game.
Yeah.
Now, if we maintained that for the rest of the season, we'd have been below Chorley. Yeah. We'd have been bottom. Yeah. Keats averaged roughly 2 points per game. And although people were frustrated that we didn't pull away from the relegation zone decisively, that's a major improvement.
But he inherited the team, that was the issue there.
Yeah, and he did well his first season as well in the same situation. Gary Mills had recruited badly, and he managed to get rid of a lot of dead wood, recruit well, and keep our heads above water. And I think, look, this is my personality. I think you give people a chance when they've done that for you.
Yeah, that was going to say to you, Mark. Give the guy a chance. Give him, at least till Christmas. You got to think we had no game for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for the players and other teams to come back as well. But we're looking at Wrexham, so
There's a point there from Josh Hodgson saying the board won't sack Keats anyway until Reynolds comes in. It would waste money. Well, that point is interesting. there's a different logic behind it. I don't think it's got anything to do with money at all. Because if the consortium buys the club, money is not really an issue. The point is, how do you act? You've got, if a takeover takes place, you surely have to consult with those people if you think it's going to happen before making a move like that. You know what I mean?
What, get rid of the manager? Yeah, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
You don't want to get rid of a manager, appoint a new one, and a new owner's come in and might say, we've got a manager we'd like to bring in, and then you sack him and bring another.
You don't know what they plan to do.
Yeah, so I don't think that sort of thing would be, in the current circumstances, done unilaterally anyway. I'm desperately trying to remember when Morel was made caretaker manager and Saunders walked out, whether that was under the trust or not. I think it was during the takeover.
Right.
Was it, or was it just after the trust took over? And Saunders walked because the trust was going to take over. Because then do you have to talk to the buyers and say, do you want us to make this change or not? Yeah. But like I said, I think the stats are so that this is a bad month, please don't get me wrong, but the stats are better than I think a lot of people perceive them to be. I would argue. Josh Hodgson, yeah, I agree. He said, I also believe Jarvis deserves a better chance. He was very good at the end of last season. Yeah, I think Jarvis is a class player. I'd like to see him given opportunities. And again, having seen a couple of our promotion seasons, we took a while to gel in those, and players rose to the top, secured a place, and settled into it.
Yeah, when you've got to think, the core of our team at the moment is all new players we've got at the moment. There's very few players in there from last season, so they've got to gel together as a team and understand each other as a player. So it will take time.
Good point here from Gary Elstins. And I've been thinking about this a little bit. Too many small players in midfield need a Walker from Shrewsbury back. I was thinking about him the other day. I like Young, I like Harris massively.
But we have got a small midfield.
Yeah.
Although saying that, tonight Harris got off the ground really well, and Durrell got off the ground really well, and actually was winning headers. So we do lack height in midfield. And I think still, with in our defence at the moment, we haven't got the height that we had last season with what's the central defender we released?
Chambers?
No.
I'm trying to think now. Kennedy. Yeah. And we're lacking Pearson, of course.
Yeah, he's out for another few weeks.
I do like a big defensive midfielder. I was always a Danny Williams fan. I like that sort of player. But there's a lot of fight in that midfield, and there's a lot of mobility in that midfield.
They are.
Yeah,
they're like little terriers, aren't they?
Oh yeah. But I do like that type of player. I think that's an interesting point. That Lee White saying, "What's the latest on Ryan Reynolds?" Nothing really, because it's all now behind closed doors, and it's all about thrashing out details, isn't it? Lawler, thank you, Benowin. Lawler,
that's it. Yeah, Jake Lawler. Yeah. Why we let him go? I don't know, because him and Pearson in central defence were solid.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's Dean Jones is envisaging a future where we could have a caretaker for 8 to 10 weeks. No, I think that the fact is, what I'm trying to say is that the current board would consult with the taking over board, for any action. But I don't think it's at that point yet. And the impression I've got from the consortium is they're not the sort of people who are looking to sort of come in and start ripping everything up and make loads of changes.
Who would you have as caretaker?
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it, but you wouldn't trust me with the keys.
No.
I'd leave the back door open or something. It'd be an absolute nightmare. Anyway. Well, it was a frustrating evening, but it wasn't a loss. Oh, Kyle Jones. Right. Why has Jordan Davis been playing recently as holding midfielder? Had football education at highest level as an attacking wide man. Yeah, I think that is a good question. Because I just think Davis has got a lot of quality.
Yeah.
And I think cracking that, we mentioned Dan Jarvis earlier, Davis the same, cracking that conundrum of getting those two good technical players into a system that works, I think is a key. And I like I think Davis has a job in midfield, but I think out wide Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he had to come on tonight as being a defender because we had nobody else to be gone, so he was out of position. But he did a good job there.
But I think he's good. He's got good delivery from wide positions, whichever side he plays. He's got good set piece delivery as well.
Yeah, if you have him and you have not Thomas Jeffries,
Yeah.
two good provider, the ball into the box.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've got to have somebody to latch onto the end of those balls.
Well, in the pre-season games, Thomas looked like the sort of target man who liked crosses rather than just a guy who's going to flick things on. And we're not really getting those crosses in, which refers back to that earlier point about hitting first defenders. Absolutely right. And there was another point. Yeah, people need to put respect to Dean Keats's name. There's so much disrespect. I agree. He's done a lot for the club, and he's very. He's a committed man. Jay Jones, what's the latest on Sean Pearson coming back? That's supposed to be another 3 or so weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, hasn't he gone back to training this week? He was seeing the physio. He was seeing the physio. He's seen his doctor and hoping to get back to training. So that was the latest I'd heard.
And his spirit and leadership is absolutely crucial as well, isn't it? So, right. Well, I think that's kind of about it, I suppose. Well, we didn't lose. That's the most important thing. Clean sheet, didn't lose. Yeah.
Always got to look forward to the next game, which is coming up on Saturday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Football's a funny thing.
Absolutely. It's a funny old game.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that, eh? We'll have a good evening, everyone. And there's a there's an Alan Partridge comment. I get it now. Fair enough. All right, so see you, chaps.